Yeah, what's up, base boxing basement? Triple B talking about the Times Square big fight press conference as well. I don't usually like press conferences. Like some of them are so drab. This one wasn't bad. There've been some good ones like Eubanks banned recently, but yeah. So we've had this announcement of this huge fight in Times Square in New York. The first time it's going to happen. And Oscar De La Homo is one of the promoters, and he's recently been in the papers getting dissed by Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan don't want him on his show. Why? Because he's creepy, he's weird, and he's got fake abs. And they're saying allegedly he's got fake abs. He has got fake abs. He admitted having surgery to have those abs. He never had them abs, right? When he was boxing, okay? Anyway, regardless of Oscar's fake abs, he's a weirdo. All the stuff he does. He's gonna look like the bride of Wildenstein, the woman who's had way too much surgery. He's gonna look like him. His girlfriend looks like some tranny with bolt-on fake boobies. Gross, very gross. But whatever, man. It's not important. What's important is the fight at Times Square, which is the first time in the middle of Times Square in New York. Times Square used to be really dodgy, right? It used to be where you could score drugs, which I've done. You get brasses, you get strip joints. I don't know what's like right now. I haven't been back to it, right? And it's named after Fatal Fury. Like I said, the old school game. It's a Street Fighter 2 type game. I don't know what's happening now. Apparently it's popular. Back in the day, it was like a second-rate Street Fighter 2. But it was quite fun. It just wasn't as good. Anyway, so the press conference was introduced by Michael Buffer, Michael Buffer's seems to be punch drunk. He's never been a boxer, but his head's gone, It's like, when you get a farmer and there's an old horse and he's no longer doing the business. You take him out and you say, look, man, I love you. I love you, Michael. But just look away and you shoot him in the head. Because he's no use anymore. Because he's too old and he's talking nonsense. That is what should happen to Michael Buffer. He should be shot in the field. And, metaphorically, I'm talking about, not literally. He's reading a script. He's just read through a script. Introducing, and he can't even get it right, yeah? He introduces Ryan Garcia as the former WBC lightweight world champion king. No, he's not. Well, Ryan Garcia has never won a world title, right? He won a WBC interim title at lightweight against Luke Campbell, who dropped him before getting stopped. He fought Devin Haney for the super lightweight title, but obviously it was made a no contest after Ryan suspiciously failed a drug test. I think it's nonsense. I think they were just teaching Garcia a lesson because he came out with too many truths. You remember? He was so base leading up to that fight. I never expected this from Ryan. I thought Ryan was just a pretty boy, Instagram model, and he proved me wrong. He gave Haney a battering, but it's been made a no contest. And he wasn't even eligible to win the title, Garcia, because he came in heavy. And he'd been partying, but somehow, on the night, he battered Haney. Okay? So there's three fights here. The WBO super lightweight title, Teofimo Lopez. Okay? Vs Arnold Barboza. Okay? Devin Haney vs Jose Carlos Ramirez. And Ryan Garcia vs Rolly Romero. And there are a bunch of titles around, Apparently, Garcia Ramirez for the regular WBA title. I mean, regular. WBA have got about 3 titles for every weight. It's ridiculous. Interim, world champ, regular, emeritus champion, all this nonsense. So we don't take that too seriously. But it's still a great bill, man. If I were living in New York, I'd want to get tickets for this. Or at least I'd want to hang out with someone who owned a flat nearby so I could watch it all. So we start off with Teofimo Lopez. I don't know about Teofimo. I don't know what's happened to him. He came out super fruity, and he's been off his nut recently. In the Saudi, he was like wearing a weird, I don't know, do-rag hat, and he's half naked now these times. He came in topless to this press conference. He just seems completely like he's off his nut. Anyway, so let's look at this fight first. Right, there's only 3 fights announced, but they're all good ones, right? If those are the only 3 fights on the card, I'm okay with it, man. I'm okay with that. I don't need to watch some whack nobody on the undercard. I'd pay for this. If I lived in New York, I'd pay for this to go and see it, man. It's going to be a mad event. And Teofimo seems off his nut recently. Yeah. It's weird. He came in wearing like a Crocodile Dundee style hat. And then he kept on changing it for a yin-yang hat. And then he says, praise be to Allah. And they well, hang on. He's a Christian, right? And then he wears a yin-yang hat, which is a Buddhist symbol. And he keeps on changing it back to the Crocodile Dundee hat. He looks high. He's talking nonsense. He's interrupting. And he's fighting Arnold Barboza. He ain't bad. He just beat Catterall. Arnold Barboza Jr., he's unbeaten. He just beat Catterall in his hometown on a tight decision, but all the same. And that was for an interim. I hate these interim titles. WBO interim world super light title, which is basically light welter for anyone with sense. And, Barboza, was pretty cool, relaxed, Lopez was off his nut. He looked very muscular, like he's been put on the PEDs. The thing about, everyone thinks Lopez is from Mexican origin. Mexico. But he's not. He's from Honduras, which is rare. I don't like him. He's a character. But, he keeps on interrupting. He's obviously off his nut, probably on Yale, allegedly. And he says these weird things all the time. I'm like, oh, Barboza, you're really handsome. It looks like he's been bought, Lopez. He's been bought for the big fight because he mentions Islam, Yet he's a Christian and he's wearing a Buddhist yin-yang hat. There's no sense in that, Some people say that, people want the Turkey payday, so they all claim to be Muslim, like Abdul Wahid, a.k.a. Javon Gay Davis, like Devin Haney, all these guys. Teofimo. I don't know, man. It's a decent fight. Who's going to win? Let's look at the odds first. So, Lopez is the favorite, which I expected. He's a 1.44. Barboza, you can get 3.25. That's an interesting price. I've never really rated Lopez. He got lucky against, Lomachenko. Lomachenko had an off night, but some people still thought he won. But Lopez, I don't know. He's a value for money fighter. But I've never thought he was like that special. Sandor Martin, a Spaniard. Lopez got a unanimous decision. A split decision, but I thought Sandor won. He beat Josh Taylor on points. It was close. I don't have any problem with that. Jermaine Ortiz, he fought again. I thought that could have gone to either way. His last fight was Steve Claggett, which he clearly won, but Steve Claggett is not really world class. And now he's fighting Barboza Jr. I mean, I have this. There might be some value in betting on Barboza. I think he's sweet past Catterall, but he's clearly a very good boxer. He could very clearly outpoint Lopez, so that might be worth a shot. Although, as I said, Lopez looks really muscular, right? And, I wonder, has he sold out? Is he on the PEDs? Has he got a TUE? Well, there's something, something not right about Lopez. He seems off his nut. Then we have Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney vs. Jose Carlos Ramirez. Ramirez is a decent fighter. He's never been stopped. He's got a record of 29 wins and 2 losses. He lost to Josh Taylor on points, a prime Josh Taylor. I mean, Josh, that's for more or less the undisputed world light welter, super lightweight, whatever, junior welter, all these stupid names. It's basically light welterweight championship. Taylor was in his prime then, and he's come out with a few wins, but then he lost his last fight. And he lost his last fight to Arnold Barboza Jr., also on the bill. That was a points decision. So he's never been stopped. He's on a massive puncher. 29 wins, 18 KOs. So he's not a massive puncher. But he's an ex-Olympian. He's a decent fighter. He's fighting Devin Haney. Devin Haney must be a bit nervous because obviously the hiding he got from Ryan Garcia, and he can try and justify, oh, he's on PDs, oh, he weighed in heavy, yeah, whatever, you got a hiding. This is Devin Haney talking about weight. When he weighs in 20 pounds higher, right? Sorry, when he gets in the ring, he's 20 pounds more at least than when he weighed in. So he walks in as a middleweight, 160 pounds. So, whether he does that by fair or foul means, that's another question. But, he can't moan about Garcia missing a weight. I think Haney will be very nervous. I think he will box a boring fight. Right? He's yet another one of those American wannabe ghetto fighters that essentially likes to outbox and go to the distance, and they think they'll get the decision. He didn't against Garcia, but that was changed to a no contest. But, Devin Haney's got 31 wins and 15 KOs. So that's a less than 50% KO ratio. And that doesn't include his loss to Garcia, which was changed to a no contest. So I think it's an interesting fight. I think Haney will probably squeak it on points, But he'll be nervous. This is probably the least interesting fight of the night. Yeah, and he done the old praise law thing. He's another one of those fake Muslims that's doing it. A lot of people say that all these fighters that want to be on Turkey's, payroll and get the big fights, they pretend to be Muslim so that, Turkey will take a shine to them. But Jose Carlos Ramirez thanked Jesus Christ. So, which I respect as a Christian. And they're moving up to 147. Okay. Devin Haney had previously fought at 140, and now he's 147. So he'll probably rehydrate to 168 or something ridiculous. I mean, I think probably Haney will win this on points. He's tough, Ramirez. I don't think Ramirez has the same access to the IV drips and the rehydration and the weight cutting that Devin Haney has. So I think he'll probably get outpointed. And I've got to say, man, that Devin Haney is one of the ugliest people I see in boxing. No haterism. He's got a big, fat, huge, wide nose like King Kong. And so I hope Jose Ramirez wins. But I would edge towards Haney. And the odds are massive in his favour. He's 1.1. Yeah, whereas Ramirez is 7.5. So he's a big favourite, Haney, despite coming over a loss. So is Ramirez, to Barboza. So 2 guys coming off a loss, although officially Garcia wasn't a loss, but we all know. Everyone who watched the fight watched Devin Haney get humiliated by the pretty boy Ryan Garcia. So I'll probably have Haney winning on points, as I said. And then we have what is, I imagine, or what should be, the main fight, the most interesting fight, Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero. Now, Romero, I've always liked him. He's a bit of an autist, right? He's a puncher, 16 wins, 13 KOs, but he's got 2 losses, both by KO. He got knocked out by Javante Davis. I thought he had a chance, but he got wiped out in 6 rounds. Isaac Cruz, that tough Mexican with the big solid head, stopped him in 8 rounds. But he's also come back with a win against a guy with a good record, Manuel Jaimez, but he won a unanimous decision. But now he's fighting Ryan Garcia. But the reason this is interesting is this: that there was a sparring session, right? A sparring session between Ryan and Roy Romero, and some of it is online, right? Now, you can't tell that much by sparring. Now, firstly, people say, oh, it's just sparring. But it's how you do on the night. I've seen a British heavyweight champion get absolutely lit up by an amateur in sparring. Lit up, battered, But he might be in out of shape. There's this famous one, Floyd Mayweather vs. Paul Spadafora. Now, Spadafora is a great fighter, don't get me wrong. But he's outclassed Mayweather. And, what people say is, Mayweather wasn't fit and Spadafora was. He was training for a fight. And that's reasonable. And after that, apparently Mayweather said he'd never get out of shape again. But regardless, so sparring. It's how you perform on the night. There's many, many, many people that are known to be so good in the gym, but they can't quite bring it into the ring. So I wouldn't read too much into the Ryan Garcia Romero. Some people even say Romero KO'd Garcia in sparring. It's not on tape, right? But that's a rumor, and there's so many rumors. Apparently, Joshua's been knocked out by something like 10 people in sparring. He has been knocked out, Gage. He's been knocked out definitely by David Price, Joey DeWaco. But there's other rumors as well. I think Martin Bakali claimed to knock him out. Daniel Dubum claimed to knock him out. Anyway, during the press conference, Teofimo Lopez is interrupting all the time. Oh, yeah, I'm Turkey's champ. I'm the ring champ. And he swapped his hat again from the yin-yang hat to the Crocodile Dundee hat. I don't know what's going on with that, man. He's obviously off his nut. And, earlier on, they said... Michael Buffer said that there will be a rematch in October between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, which is a bit weird because Ryan's got to get through Romero, and it's not given. Obviously, Ryan's the favorite. I'd expect Ryan to win as long as he trains properly, right? But, he's a clear favorite, 1.14 favorite. Romero, you get 6.5. American punch, but he's also susceptible to being chinned himself, okay? But to talk about fights that are going to happen whilst there's still a fight to happen is dangerous. Some people say it's tempting fate. I don't believe in that. The Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney fight rematch, yeah, we'd like to see it. They should, they should call it Beauty and the Beast. Because no homo. Ryan Garcia is a good-looking boy. He gets all the pum-pum. Ryan Garcia just scoops the pum-pum up, especially the Latina pum-pum. And Devin Haney's ugly with his huge nose. It looks like a pair of sunglasses fell down his face, and stayed around his nose. But it's a good fight. I like Rolly. I like Ryan. I didn't used to care about Ryan. I just thought, he's a brainless pretty boy. But he's been very based. Obviously, you got to go for Garcia by stoppage, in my opinion. The odds on stoppage are not released yet, but certainly he's a big favorite to win Ryan. So it's a good bill, though. It's a good bill. The Devin Haney, Jose Carlos Ramirez, and Ryan Garcia Rory Romero fight are on paper, i.e., according to the bookies, a bit of a mismatch. Barboza, Teofimo is closer, but it's still heavily in favor of Lopez. But, upsets happen. And I don't think anybody would be shocked. Anybody would be shocked if the underdogs won any of these fights. You get me? Anyway, so I'm looking forward to the May 3rd Times Square Fatal Fury show. And then they had this guy at the end, right? I just want to say quickly, there's this guy called Rick Reno at the end. I don't know who this guy is. He apparently works for Ring Magazine. And he's balding, but he's swept all his hair forward and greased it up. It looks ridiculous. He looks like, I don't know, like an aging East 17 impersonator from some terrible town like Jaywick. And how can you look in the mirror and have that haircut and think, I look really good? But anyway, he's a bum. Who cares about him? But they're obviously pushing the whole Ring Magazine thing again, which is odd because, paper media is yesterday's. It's all digital now. And I know Ring are digital. I mean, I think basically Turkey will use the Ring Magazine as a PR stunt, to push fights, to push Ring Magazine champions and so on. So I've got no real problem with it. I mean, boxing's all corrupt anyway. When you got all these regular, interim, emeritus, real champion, world champion, undisputed, blah, blah, blah. You just stop caring. It's about who's fighting who. It's about who's fighting who. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this bout. Peace in the Middle East, guys.